So let's start by dividing a decimal by a whole number. So our decimal is 4 8/10 divided by 12. Our first number here is our decimal. Our second number is our whole number. So the key here is if a decimal is in the house, raise it to the roof. So we always put the first number on the inside and the second number, the divisor, on the outside. So I'm going to notice I've got my roof. We're going to rise the decimal up and put it here. Step 1. Easy. Now we have to ask ourselves, can 12 go into 4? No. So I'm going to put a 0. 12 times 0 gives us 0. We are going to divide like normal and subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. Our next number, we're moving down. Can 12 go into 48? So off to the side, if I don't know my facts, we're going to write multiples of 12. 12 times 2 would be 24. 12 times 3 would be 36. 12 times 4 would be 48. So I can go in 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I'm writing my 4 above the 8, and I'm going to write my 48 all in line. I subtract. If I get a remainder, I'm going to know something is wrong. So what I need to look for is that if I'm dividing a decimal by a whole number, if my whole number is on the outside, my decimal is going from the inside to the roof. So my answer here is 4/10. Let's try a decimal divided by a decimal. So for this, we're going to have 8 75/100 divided by 25/100. So we have a decimal as our first number and a decimal as our second number. So if a decimal is on the side, let it slide. So let's write this correctly and set it up. We have our first number going on the inside because it's bigger, 8 75/100. Draw your division bar. We put our 25/100 on the outside. So if there is a decimal on the side, let it slide. So what's going to happen is it needs to go 1, 2 over, so that if we know a decimal is behind the whole number, it is gone. So we're going to do the same. If I moved it 2 on the outside, I move it 2 on the inside. So basically I just made 2 whole numbers. I made 25/100 become just the number 25, and 8 75/100, I just moved my decimal at the end, and if it's at the end, we know that that's just a whole number. So can 25 go into 8? No. Can 25 go into 87? We have to think, what do we know about quarters? Can I add or think of multiples of 25? What's 2 quarters? 50. Can I get closer to 87? What about 3 quarters? 75. How much is 4 quarters? 100 cents or $1? Nope, that's too high. So that means I have 1, 2, 3 groups that can go in, and I write it above my 7. So 25 times 3, or 3 quarters, would be 75. I'm going to subtract. 7 minus 5 gives me 2. 8 minus 7 gives me 1. Then I have to bring down my last number. 25. How many quarters can make $1.25? So I know 4 of them makes $1. So if I have another quarter, That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups would give me 125. I subtract. I do not have a remainder. If I have a remainder, I did something wrong. So my answer is 35. So when I write my answer, I don't need to put a decimal because my decimal was really at the end. So it would be 35 wholes or just 35. So what if your decimal was an uneven amount? So the second way is the same thing. On the side, let it slide. So let's do another example. So let's say we've got I'm going to get an example here. So our problem will be 17 and 36 hundredths divided by 2 and 8 tenths. So if it's on the side, let it slide. Well, again, to make this guy a whole number, I need to move it once. So if I move it once on this side, I have to move it once on this side. Now, that means I still have a decimal. If a decimal is in the house, I raise it to the roof. So I need to put my decimal right there. So this is now a whole number of 28 because I got rid of my decimal. And now I have 173 and 6 tenths. I just had to move it over and even it out. Then we divide. Can 28 go into 1? It cannot. So I can either put an X or a 0. Can 28 go into 17? It cannot. Again, I can put an X or a 0. If I put a 0 here, I'm thinking 28 times 0. Anything times 0 gives me 0. 17 minus nothing gives me 17, and my next number would be a 3. So I'm trying to figure out how many 28s can go into 173. So this is more tricky. So again, we off to the side want to find out how many groups of 28. So in order to do that, I'm thinking 28, if I have that 2 28s, 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 56. We're not anywhere near 173, so let's try 28 times 5 and see. We're just going to pick a number in between to see how far we get. 8 times 5 would be 40. 5 times 2 would be 10, plus 4 would be 14. It's pretty close, but I think I can get closer because I'm trying to get to 173. So can we do 28 times 6? 6 times 8 is 48. Carry the 4. 6 times 2 is 12. And then plus 4. 12 plus 4 would be 16. Ooh, that's pretty close. If I added another 28, I think I would go over. So that means 6 groups goes on top of the next number, the 3. And we got 168. You have to take your time. Can I do 3 minus 8? No. So I have to borrow, and this becomes 13 minus 8. So if I need to count up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 gives us 5. Our last number here is a 6. How many 28s make 56? Well, look, we did that. 2 28s. So my last number is going to be a 2. And I end up with no remainder, so I did not make an error. My answer here, needs to make sense. I have 6 decimal point 2, 6 and 2/10. So if I want to check my answer, let's multiply. That means if I wanted to get my answer of what I started with of 173 and 6/10, I would have to make sure I multiply my two numbers, my answer, and then this number. So let's find that out. 6 and 2/10 times 28. Well, pretend like my decimal is not there and multiply like normal. I just know I'm going to have one place value in my answer. So pretend like our 2 is not there right now. 8 times 2 gives us 16, carry the 1. 8 times 6 gives us 48, plus 1 is 49. Now I have my place value of my 2 that I can use. So I'm going to do my 0. I'm done with my 8. 2 times 2 gives us 4. 2 times 6 gives us 12. You see how all my numbers are lined up? It's very important for when I add them together. 6 plus nothing gives us 6. We know I'm going to have one number behind my decimal, so that is where it's going. 9 plus 4 gives me 13, carry the 1. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 gives me 7, and then we have 1 plus nothing gives us 1. So that means my answer should have been 173 and 6/10 in my inside, and it was. So I know my answer was correct. I can do the same thing. Always check my outside number and my answer. If I multiply them together, I should get the number in the middle. So these are the two different notes about decimals. If it is underneath the house, I raise it to the roof. If I have it on the side, I need to slide until I get rid of it. If I have to slide once, I slide it once over here. If I have to jump twice, then I jump twice over here. Whatever I do on the outside, I have to do on the inside.